Get a new signee. There's some young kid there with a new haircut. And he had a pretty nice
Steph
play.
Fry?
No, there's another one. He split a couple defenders and scored over there.
You're talking about De La Vega.
Yes, sir. He's got a new haircut.
Yeah, he's super close. I might be leaning towards being a little more cautious. He's still got some lingering feelings in there. So I'm gonna sleep on it. It's gonna be my decision. So we're gonna listen to his question.
We talked to Albert. He said that the team did the dirty work last game. And specifically, I mean, there was a lot of different things, but he pointed to the second goal to where João Paulo won. You know, he won the ball, made that pass, and then that kind of ignited the offense. What's your assessment on
dirty
that?
work? That's an interesting one from Albert. I mean, look, the goal, the thing about the goals were our transition moments were better. Even Christian, when he's getting down the field, and we get out of their pressure, and we're down in that end of the field, and that was the thing that I liked. Jordan Morris can score those goals all the time.
How would, with that in mind, how do you assess your possession when, by design, the other team is kind of giving you that? Is it how many times you get it in the final third? How do you assess that?
Well, I saw the stats. I mean, look, away from home is different than at home. And if we possess the ball a little bit deeper, okay, is it ideal? No. You'd always like to be up there, of course, but each game is going to play out differently. So the fact that we didn't have as many box entries as they did, or some of those things, we don't have a big João Klaus type striker in there. So we play a little differently. So our possession stats, were they good enough? Could they have been higher up the field? Maybe. But, at the end of the day, we're away from home. And if we can possess the ball in any part of the game in different areas of the field to help control tempo, then that's job well done.
But if there's something that maybe that could improve on, is that maybe identifying that open player a little bit quicker?
Sure.
Is it switching the point of attack more often? What is
It's all of those. We message them all the time. As we possess the ball, you always have to understand that there's the goal.
Talking about the differences between the home and road games, and obviously who knows what RSL's going to throw out tomorrow, but
Their first team.
So what can you take from?
He hasn't made many changes. He hasn't made many changes in his lineup.
So in terms of a home road kind of thing that you're talking about there, so
we're going to try and measure up against the first place team in our division.
Is it a good time for you to play them? I mean,
For sure. We've seen them a couple weeks ago, so that's still fresh in our mind. I think the team's in a little bit of an uptick. We've got to get our home form. We have to get our home form right. So it's a good measuring stick, for sure.
And so the last game, do you take much from that though? Is it just fundamentally a different game? You obviously had a pretty rotated lineup.
Yeah. It's fundamentally different, but you saw what they were going to do. So some of those clips and some of the things that a different group did well against them, we showed them on film because they are who they are. So what was our attacking movements like? What happened in that specific game? I mean, look, early in the game, you want to talk about transition moments and stuff like that. I mean, Leo Chu got down the field a couple times. Albert should have taken a touch. And then we give up, a couple goals because we're pressed higher up the field and we let them get out. So you're correct. We don't take everything out of that game, but we took certain specific things out of that game.
During that last post game, we talked about maybe treating this rivalry a little bit different. That last post game at Real Salt Lake, we talked about maybe this rivalry having to be picked up a little bit more. Do you use any mental, we're the underdog at home sort of thing to just kind of beat the guys' mentality, rivalry-wise, anything like that? You got to amp them up?
No wonder we're not underdogs. We're going to play with confidence. That's a good team. Pablo's done a great job. Chicho's had a great season. We're just going to come and try and do what we want to do and try and score some goals and try and come out with 3 points.
Brian, Is your team starting to understand, get that killer instinct when in transition? Is that maybe what's starting to click
It's
here?
always been one of our better qualities, so let's see if we can manifest that at home, because I don't think RSL is going to sit back.
Right.
Teams have come to Lumen and sat back and it's hard. I don't think they're going to do that.
How's Josh Atencio doing?
Good. Good. Very good.
John Bell?
Still in rehab protocol.
Is the timeline still the same for Bell? A couple of weeks for him?
Yeah. It's not a major one like Nathan, no.
Oh, and so you're with Atencio though, just to confirm, do you expect him to be available for selection?
Yep.
Obid's,
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry, Brian. Obid's ability to be interchangeable, is that even becoming more and more something he's going
We're going to
into?
use that to our, hopefully, advantage. Be a little more flexible with Christian, Obed, Alex. Yeah.
I saw both Reed and Kalani both came in and were able to provide some progressive movement from fullback positions.
Yeah.
What did you make of both of their performances in this last game? And at least with Reed, it seemed like it was maybe a step forward for him in terms of.
Yeah. I mean, look, you guys heard me after the game. I think I stated some facts. I mean, Reed will be a starter in this league at some point. Who knows when? Kalani, I said, we should sign him, but we'll make that decision when the time is right. I mean, he's a talented kid. They both bring different skill sets. Kalani's a super athlete. Still needs a little seasoning at our level. Reed has some games under his belt, but's coming back from a long-term injury. But their value off the bench in that game, their addition to that win coming off the bench was very, very good.
Does it seem, or is it by design, that maybe when Cody and or Baker are in on that left side, maybe there's a little more green light for the left back to push, and maybe Joao is the one that comes back and gives you that three defenders in the
we
back?
don't know. We don't like that. I mean, look, Nuhu's gone up front, and Cody, is a right footer on the left side. I mean, we want to be a little bit more disciplined with our 3-2, rotate maybe one pivot higher. We'll do some of that, but we want to keep the three pretty steady.
How would you describe or articulate that position battling there at left back
Between
Cody and Nuhu and
Reed,
or Baker?
and Reed, it's a good one. It's nice to have because it pushes Nuhu. Nuhu's the starter, but it'll push Nuhu. He gets it. They all look. Those guys see other guys on the team doing well and playing with confidence. They see it.
How would you assess Raul's game? I mean, he did a little bit of different things, had to pivot, come back. Maybe didn't get enough balls in the
He didn't
18.
look. He wasn't as influential, but there again, away from home, sometimes center forwards don't touch the ball, and then the one time they do touch the ball, it starts a possession sequence. He's the one that bumps it to Albert. That Albert plays. Raul was involved in the first goal as well. His movement to the near post, he was up there, so he was involved in certain parts of the game, but other parts he wasn't.